So we said Mustafi and Bellerin.
Yeah.
No. Because Mustafi and Koscielny can go.
I actually don't mind Koscielny staying as a backup.
Yeah, for experience. But then again, we've got Mertesacker there. Has experience. He's not a player, but he's experienced and he can teach them about positioning. And Unai Emery's staff is there as well. So
yeah, but I think we need. I think Koscielny will stay because his contract still. He signed a contract 2 seasons ago.
Okay,
so he's still there for a while. He's to be at least 1 more season.
But he can go.
If need be, he can go. But I don't. Being the fact that he had a shocking
not because
season.
he's rubbish. Not because he's rubbish. Yeah. Because of his injury.
Yeah. And I think he started to look really bad in certain games last season when he tried to do too much.
Yeah. Because he's trying to compensate for both.
Even in the Europa League semi-finals we had of Atletico, the clearance he tried to pull off, which more or less costed us that entire tie.
I missed that because I was abroad. I didn't see it.
Oh man, it was.
I didn't see no replays.
You didn't see no replays. No. It was shocking. We scored, and you know what it's like when Arsenal score, like they go to sleep.
They go sleep straight away.
More or less that. The game was like, because they was a player down from the beginning.
Oh yeah, I remember that game.
And like the game should have been won at the Emirates. It should have been won. We didn't need to concede. Like they were player down. We had the man advantage. There was no need for that game to finish as a draw.
I remember that, Griezmann.
Yeah, and the clearance that seemed simple enough.
Yeah.
Gonna be about this, but Peter Cech.
Yeah, Peter Cech is past it. Peter Cech was never the Peter Cech that we saw at Chelsea. The Peter Cech that we bought.
He had
glimpses.
Peter Cech. He had glimpses. I don't
even know, man.
He had glimpses. I mean, there were some games where he performed really well and he saved us a couple of points. And I remember when he first joined. And I remember, I think it was the first couple of games. One game where
I was excited when
he played, and he made some really incredible saves, and you know he pretty much won that game up. He had in glimpses, but you have to remember Peter Cech's what 38, 30,
36, 34.
Really?
Yeah, I heard that the other day. Yeah, it's 34.
Well, for a goalkeeper, that's not that old.
It's not.
To be honest.
Exactly, it's not.
But. Honestly, it's looking like he's past it. I've heard rumours that we're looking at another keeper right there in Germany, so that'd be interesting. But yeah, any other players that you think you'd like to see the back of?
Do you know who? This is going to be controversial. Nobody's going to agree with me.
I think I know what you're going to say.
Nobody's going to agree with me. But Ozil.
I thought you was going to say
Ozil, right? He needs to go because he doesn't, like, they've just paid him all this money. He doesn't pull his weight. He's got this reoccurring back issue by the sounds of it that's made him come out of a lot of games, because recently, even in the Germany games in the World Cup, I know that he has had this little injury. So I don't know how long the injury's been going on for. Majority of the games, like even when we was playing in the Premiership games, he had a long periods off because obviously we was prioritising the Europa Cup. He had long periods off, like he had nearly 2 weeks off. And even on some games, he wasn't even playing. And like,
do you think that came out of being more, like, obviously wasn't in the Europa Leagues and things like that? Do you think that came out of not having enough competition to really fight? Because a lot of our good players
But even in competitions when we do fight, Ozil doesn't show up. Ozil is like, where's Wally? You can't find him in these big games. He never turns up on big games. When you want him, when you need somebody to pull the strings and distribute the balls and create these chances, in the huge games, Ozil never shows up. He never. And where's the Man City games? We played Man City 3 times last season because we played them in not the FA Cup, in Carabao Cup or whatever. We played them in that, and Ozil never showed up in none of the games. Like, he doesn't show up.
I hear what you're saying, and you're probably right, but I don't necessarily agree with the sentiment that get rid of him. I mean, if we have to, if for money purposes, if a big money move comes in for him, it's probably good to cash in on him now. But however,
he just signed a contract though.
Yeah,
so.
he did sign a contract, but I think Ozil on his day is one of the best creative midfielders we have.
Yeah, but on his day, but how many of those days does he have?
Unfortunately,
He doesn't have a lot of those days.
They are not, but I think that comes from motivation. It will be interesting to see how, again, this goes down to the new regime that's in place. That we'll see what they can get out of him. He has good players around him now. Before, you could say it was Sanchez and Ozil. Those were the only two players up that we had up in the Arsenal team that could carve teams open and that people had to worry about, defenses had to worry about. But now we have so much more firepower. You're talking Aubameyang, you're talking Lacazette, you're talking Ozil, you're talking Mkhitaryan. This new, so there's a lot more going forward. We seem to have a lot more firepower about us. Is whether or not you can generate that steam that get these guys to really want to compete again, new regime stuff. So I don't know if I agree with the sentiment of seeing the back of him just yet. I'll give him another season.
Nah, I'm done with Ozil. I'm done with him. He can go in the bin, get out. I'm done.
To be fair,
all these back injuries and all these sickies and him not showing up in big games but I don't even care. Like if you're a competitive player, right? There's a big game coming up. Yeah. Like I would be like, I would make the managers tell me to get off, because you know what, you're not up to it. I would put myself forward, but all of this, I'm sick, always sick. Like even if he's not sick, like I don't know whether he's sick or whether it's this back injury or I don't know the real reason behind it, but he just doesn't do enough. And especially now, he's probably the highest paid player in the club. Like I don't buy it. He's just not doing enough. He doesn't do enough.
Fair enough. So you've got Mustafi, Koscielny, Ozil.
Yeah.
Let's run through this quick.
Probably Danny Welbeck.
Now.
But
oh really? You see the back of that?
But I heard somebody make a point that Danny Welbeck could be a good squad player.
Very good squad player. Very good squad player. Because it seems like
which I didn't disagree.
Yeah, because it's one thing wanting all stars and really big names in your club, but all these players want to play.
Yeah.
But Danny strikes me as the sort of person that doesn't mind playing a bit part role where he can come on and make an impact.
Yeah.
As long as he contributes to the.
But if that was the case, then we should have kept Giroud.
I like Giroud.
We would have kept Giroud.
I like Giroud. In fact, I think we missed him in some games where we were just one-dimensional.
Definitely.
I really like Giroud, but we can't. There was no way we'd be able to keep, 3 really high caliber strikers, and I rate Giroud quite highly. Yeah. I'm probably one of the few people that see him as a world-class player, but a lot of people don't. But I think he's a world-class talent. I'm being biased in that.
You can't even.
I'm biased. I rate him higher than Kane. Bruh.
You can't
screw that. Like, you guys can go crazy in the comments if you want. I'm rating him higher than Kane.
At all.
Numbers wise, Kane's got it. Kane's a better striker by the numbers.
But that's all that matters.
To me,
but that's all that matters in this.
No, it's not numbers. That's all that matters.
It's all
to everyone else. To me, what matters is who's the better player. I think
but the numbers is what makes him a better player. The fact that he's got golden boot.
We'll spend too much time on Harry Kane. I want to talk no more about
Harry Kane.
I want to talk about Harry Kane.
Harry Kane. I don't know. What's your list?
I think start with Mustafi. Definitely, I'd happily see the back of him. Chambers or what's the other fella's name? Or Holding. One of them's got to go. Right, because they're both more or less the same player to me.
Yeah.
They're utility players at the back, and they haven't.
Who would you rather then out of the two of them, Chambers or Holding?
Chambers, and that's not that
Chambers stay. Or?
No, I'd rather him go if we had to get rid of one of them.
You think?
Yes, purely because I don't think he can play in the. I don't think he can play centre back too well. I don't think that position suits him at all. I think the only position that kind of suited him was right back, which he filled.
He's not good enough at. He's definitely not good enough.
Yeah, and his final ball, his delivery his in the final third isn't great. So I wouldn't mind seeing the back of him. Holding's a big guy, right? So even though he's not great right now, I think just maybe under the right management, he might be able to still come to the potential that he's deemed to have. Chambers for me just seems like he belongs in a lesser team. Not to take shots at anyone else, but it just seems like he belongs in a lesser team. So for that reason, I think Holding. Again, a lot of people are talking about him signing a new contract. Jack Wilshere, I love Jack to death.
Oh yeah, me too.
I love Jack to death, and you know, if he has to go, I mean, but to be fair to Arsenal, we've actually offered him a new contract. It might not be what he wanted, but the decision's up to him. I love Jack Wilshere. I love his passion.
Yeah.
I just don't think he has. I don't know if he can still contribute to Arsenal success. I don't know if he still has that.
Do you know what? Right, I think that's the thing with a lot of people as well, which is same as me, because you know is Arsenal through and through, and you need that one player. It's like Liverpool, the team Liverpool not having any Liverpool players in it, right? You need people
that.
who know the history.
Jordan Henderson's that for them.
You need somebody who's lived it, who knows the meaning of the derbies, that's able to translate that to foreign players coming in and see how important it is. And Jack Wilshere's that guy that's able to say, this is what the derby means, this is how we feel, this is how we engage, this is how we go into it. You need that player like that, but at the same time,
I hope he stays.
It's all heart for me. I'm all heart when it comes to Jack Wilshere, but at the same time, is he at the level that we need to be at Arsenal Football Club?
The thing is, I hope he stays for the reason being that he might be able to find another dimension to his game that he hasn't yet been able to find under Arsene Wenger. I mean, you look at Chamberlain that went on to Liverpool.
This Alexander Glovin guy, like, I heard that Arsenal's looking at him. Yeah,
we're watching the World Cup now, by the way.
This Alexander Glovin guy, Arsenal's looking at him. If he was to come into Arsenal, that means Jack Wilshere's gonna fall down in the pecking order.
Yeah.
And is he willing to do that?
In fact, with the new guy Petro from Sampdoria, but we're sort of slated to sign. If he comes into the pecking order, I don't think there's space in that middle of the park, because I don't see Xhaka getting dropped. I can see Xhaka, Ramsey, and that new fella playing in the middle of the park. And Ozil and the rest of the guys just doing whatever they want to do up front. So that'd be interesting to see. But you know, I like Jack. I love Jack. You know, it's just, you know, he's unfortunate. I hope he stays and try to improve his game and try to fight for his position, because I think he has it in him. If he's willing to fight for his position, I think he has it in him to be just as good as some of these players, or the player that everyone thinks him to be. In parts last season he played well. In parts where I thought he was trying to do too much, he held onto the ball too long, you know, things like that. But anyway, so yeah, Jack Wilshere is one of them. I think that's it for me. Everyone else, it would just be good to see everyone under the new regime. I know some people are gonna love the new management style, some people aren't gonna love it. So we're probably gonna see a lot of people, you know, maybe not exit this season, but maybe next season. Once Unai's really known his players and know who he needs and who he doesn't really need there anymore, he's gonna start shipping them off.
And you know what I don't like is all of this Arsenal holding on to all these players. If they say we don't have a lot of budget for the transfer, then why do we still have like guys like Perez and guys like what's the guy that plays for Costa Rica?
Because no one's willing to pay the fee we paid for
the guy that's played for Costa Rica and
Joe Campbell.
Yeah, why are they still on the Arsenal
payroll?
Get rid of them.
Because no one was really willing to pay full price.
Yeah, but Arsenal
for them.
just needs to understand. All right, we've taken a loss on these guys. Like we just need to take a loss on them and move them on, get them off the books.
Yeah, like, but that's the old regime. That was the old system. That's why we've had over the past year the little pieces being moved around in the back. You know, director of football come in, and so we're gonna start seeing less and less of that going forward. You're right. I don't know why we've always had that, but I think we'll see less and less of players being kept on the books for X amount of time and things like that under the new sort of structure we have at Arsenal. So yeah, sort of wrap up the current state of things. There's going to be an interesting transfer window. It'd be good to watch the World Cup and see some of the Arsenal players. I know we don't have a lot of players at the World Cup because, you know, based on our season alone, that goes. It'd be good to see some players. I kind of wish and hope Arsenal's got most of their business done before the World Cup, because the World Cup has a way of, you know, driving up the stock prices. So yeah, it's just good to have a summer where we won't be, you know, football less. We have, you know, a couple of weeks of football, so
Lord.
it'd be good to that. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned on our next video. We're probably gonna cover a bit of sort of like World Cup group stages, what we think is gonna win which group. You know, I'm not well versed in most of the World Cup teams, but it's based off knowledge and history. I'll pick who I think is gonna win. And we'll see how
far England goes,
even England's prospects. We're going to talk about England's prospects and how far we think they're going to go this World Cup, what the group looks like. So that will come in the end. Quite as kept. I don't want to kind of get ahead of ourselves. But I like the England team. I haven't liked the England team in a long time. I've kind of thought it's been overhyped for quite a while.
Basically,
I like this team because not only are they young, but I don't think there's as much pressure on them. Yeah. Because as the years go on and the longer we go, England go without, you know, making a serious challenge for any Euro major trophy, the pressure becomes less because the public starts to expect less. So the players go into the games with less pressure.
And the fearlessness that comes with youth, because they don't know the history, or they don't fear the reputation of these other guys. They just play with their heart, and that's quite creative. So it'd be exciting.
It'd be good. Stay tuned for that, guys, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.